What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports Morning Show. I am your host, Mangone. I'm here with DC, and we're talking MLB. And, DC, we were talking before in the pre-show. I looked at this slate earlier in the week, and I said, what a great day for baseball. We have a lot of early day games. This should be a fun one. And I don't know what DraftKings did. They have 4 games earlier on. They have 4 games at the afternoon slate. They did what FanDuel basically does every slate. So we will talk about this 4-game slate, the main slate. Maybe you can touch on some of the pitching on the other one if you want, because it sounds like you like the pitching a little bit. But overall, how's your day? And what's your thoughts on what DraftKings did?
Well, first of all, I'm just happy to be on the Mangone and Friends show today. I'm just happy to have a friend today after my Kyle Wright call yesterday afternoon / last night didn't work out. A little bit friendless in the Discord, and then from the viewers on Twitter. So happy to have one friend in Mangone, and no, it's all good. It happens in baseball. But you're right. It is an awesome day of baseball. But man, it could have been a much better day of baseball DFS, right? If they would have combined these 2 early slates on DraftKings. 4-game. What we have is 4-game early slate that ends at 2:10 Eastern time with that Cleveland-Chicago game. And then there's 4 afternoon games that I do really like, specifically for pitching. They could have just had an 8-game slate. It would have been pretty awesome. And then the main slate, I think, is 7 games tonight, if I recall correctly. But no, they split them up, and there's not even a decent slate for the afternoon, right? It's a 4-gamer, but like the biggest contest is like a $200 30-man. So I checked FanDuel because I kind of want to get some action on some of those pitchers, and there's nothing there either. There's no all-day slates really to speak of, so a little bit hard to get action on some of those afternoon pitchers. I'll say specifically, since we're not going to go in depth, I think Alex Cobb is going to throw a gem today. I really, really like what I saw from him in his last start. So K-props, betting on the Giants, that types of thing. We'll have to find alternative ways to get some action on specifically Alex Cobb. Hopefully he'll be better than Kyle Wright was yesterday.
Yeah, and maybe if you you like some Alex Cobb, maybe you make a wager. Maybe you go on over to Run Pure Sports, sign up with the code GetBets, get the bet side for free, plug in DC's a guy Alex Cobb, take his overs just because he likes them, and then make some bets instead. There's other ways that we can kind of get some action down, other ways to kind of enjoy these baseball games. So it should be a good time. Let's dive in though. Let's talk about this slate. Before we do though, guys, please like this video, subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a ton. We appreciate it over here at Run Pure Sports. And of course, we want to give out those plays of the day. So we always got to get those things moving. Also wanted to mention over at Underdog. Listen, there's big best ball contests going on right now. $10 million up top. If you are starting to draft for those, hey, use that code RunPure for new signups. They get a $100 match deposit bonus. DC, are you doing some best ball contests and loading up 2 into your lineups? That's what I heard the rumor is on Twitter. Is that the truth?
Yeah, the Tua Tyreek stack, perfect fit down in Miami. No, I don't think that's a good fit at all. Yeah, I'll probably jump in some best balls. I've got some baseball ones going on over at Underdog. I do have the opinion that drafting closer to the season, especially for football, is the better, higher ROI way to go. I mean, I know the argument is that you get like draft discounts, right? Because people aren't on top of maybe who's going to be drafted high as we get closer to the season. There's not as much content out there. But to me, I kind of think that's mitigated by all the injuries that you're going to see between now and the start of the NFL season. So I'll probably save most of my Underdog action until then. But yeah, I mean, if you got that NFL itch, it's certainly a good way to scratch it. So love the product from Underdog. Great stuff over there. And yeah, I'll be jumping in some, but I think most of my best ball action closer to the NFL season for me personally.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I kind of do mine closer to the NFL season as well. That's just my opinion. And hey, if you want to, let's say DC, you don't want to do the Tua and Tyreek stack. You know what you can do? find the quarterback that they're going to trade for when the Tua experiment is over and they look too good. Who's that guy? Put him in there in round 17 or whatever round you get that quarterback at, and really take a chance. I think that happened with I'm trying to remember what team it was, but that one of the years it was a big winner. There was like a trade. I think like Kenyon Drake was maybe part of it. Maybe I think it was the Miami Dolphins stack. It was like Ryan Fitzpatrick had gotten traded there, or like Kenyon Drake was there. It was like a whole weird combination. But hey, that's what best ball can be. It can be crazy like that. So grab the value, use that code RUNPURE too, and make some good teams. But let's dive in. Let's talk about this slate. And DC, I was just realizing you're drinking coffee right now because you're in Colorado. I'm in New Jersey now, so it's 11 a.m. So I'm not drinking the coffee like you. I just realized, I was like, why is DC drinking coffee at this hour? Well, it's because it's 9 a.m. for you and it's 11 for me now.
Well, I would still be drinking coffee at 11 a.m. I kind of drink coffee for a lot of the day, basically until I, go on my run, and then I switch over to water and then to White Claws after that. But coffee in the morning for me, for sure.
That's fair. I was thinking it was the Claws because it's 11 over here, but I took a red eye, DC, and I got like no sleep, so I do need some coffee. I'll probably
you look a little bit tired, Mangone. I won't lie.
Yeah, the was not the best.
You look so tired that our producer Simon was questioning whether you had the high definition camera option selected, but apparently you do. It's just the lack of sleep from the red eye.
Definitely is that. We got Dolphins fans in the chat. They are. He says, coming from a Dolphins fan, how about that deep ball from Tua to Cheetah? So you already got him going, DC. So it's a good time over here in the chat. But let's talk about this baseball slate. 4 games, still some big money to be won up top. So obviously, we do not want to ignore that. And hey, we got some good offenses on the slate too, right? I know Gary swore off the Milwaukee Brewers. I don't know if he's ever going to swear back on them. I know they've been crushing the ball over the past couple weeks or so. They're on this slate. You got the Dodgers, which, hey, the Dodgers, they are always in play, even though they are playing in Pittsburgh. Yankees and the Blue Jays, they can hit with the best of them. And then, I love the White Sox. So it's a good hitting good hitting slate. Pitching, it's okay. I mean, not so much. There's a couple names, but the two that I notice is it's Jose Barrios and Jameson Taillon, right? It's also the 7.5 run total. Maybe you just do the pitchers dual stack against the two offenses. Yes, they have some home run potential. They got the power, but I think that's not a bad way to go on this slate. You could also make the case anyone against the Reds, right? You got Hauser on the mound, but hey, Adrian Hauser chalk is not like the greatest chalk to eat. So DC, what's your thoughts here on the pitchers on this slate?
Yeah. I mean, starting at the top, like these aren't the best options, right? 9,600 for Adrian Hauser, who I'm not really a big fan of his. I know he's pitched pretty well results wise. Just faced Cincinnati his last time out, gave up 4 runs over 5 innings, which maybe is the most runs they've scored over 5 innings this season. I'm not sure. But I mean, I assume he'll be popular. I mean, obviously on a 4-game slate, all the usable pitchers are going to be popular to some degree, but I can't eat the Adrian Hauser chalk. So I'll start off by saying he's a fade for me. If he delivers, probably won't be the best slate for DC. I mean, Jose Barrios has really struggled this year. It's been a rough year for him overall. He doesn't seem like he really has lost anything in the stuff department. So I do kind of expect him to rebound sooner rather than later. I think it's close between Taillon and Barrios up top. Like, I'm not paying the 8,900 for Vince Velasquez either. So Hauser, Velasquez kind of off the table for me. Close between Taillon and Barrios. I think you can go either direction there. You can certainly play both of them. I slightly prefer Jameson Taillon. I think he's a better pitcher at the moment. And the matchup kind of similar, right? Obviously pitching in the same ballpark, 2 powerful offenses, but 2 offenses that can be strikeout prone at times too. So I think both these guys have a chance at success, but it could easily go south for either or frankly both of them. And then I think if you want the savings, pretty clear option for savings for me, Dodgers rookie Ryan Pepiot, maybe. I don't know how to pronounce his name, making his MLB debut. Really high strikeouts in the minors this year. And, he gets the Pirates, right, in Pittsburgh. That's the bigger thing. So no Pirates lineup yet, but it's going to be bad. They don't really have any good hitters to throw out there outside of maybe a Brian Reynolds. So 6,200 for him. I think he is the best point per dollar option on this slate. So yeah, my recommendation, what I'll do is pair Pepiot with one of Barrios and or Taillon, depending on how many lineups I make. I'll probably have exposure to both those guys and kind of hope for the best. It's just, only so many pitchers to choose from. A lot of these guys, I mean, Vladimir Gutierrez, not playable to me. Dylan Peters, not playable. I'm not paying $7,800 for freaking Aaron Savale, Velasquez, Hauser, or no. So 3 pitchers for me in order in terms of my exposure and my preference: Pepio, Taillon, Barrios.
Yeah, DC, before I rebuttal about the pitchers, we got Title in the chat, and I don't know who's going to be more tired, me or Title, because he's been jumping around that Deer District, right? And he's got a game tonight. Yeah. So do you have any predictions on the Celtics Bucks, who wins the game 5 tonight? 'Cause it's a 2-2 series, and it's going to be a good one, I think.
Yeah. I'll be firing in some showdown for sure. I haven't researched it yet, so no real prediction. I don't know. Might be. I'll have to tune into the Up to Lock show. I assume they've got an NBA one going tonight. See what those guys say. They're smarter about basketball than I am. So we'll see. My lean is Bucks. I do think the Bucks are going to win the title when it's all said and done. But should be a good game. Looking forward to watching it for sure.
Yeah. Although they said Pepio's not on FanDuel, so that's a comment from the chat. So yeah.
Yeah, of course he's not.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. I will say on DK, you can definitely and DC, this is a good talking point too. Like sometimes people, they always do the classic, like, well, I have $3,000, so I'll upgrade my pitcher. Listen, Pepio to Vincent Velasquez probably is not an upgrade. I don't even know much about Pepio, but I know a lot about Vincent Velasquez, and you don't want him.
Yeah, no, I'll take Pepio straight up over Vincent Velasquez. Also, FanDuel, I'm looking at their offerings today. I mean, at least DraftKings has tournaments early only with some decent prize pools up top. FanDuel doesn't have anything. They're early only, very early only, they call it, has a 2K to first is their biggest prize pool. And then they've got
FanDuel's a disaster when it comes.
They didn't even try today. Their biggest tournament, there's 8 early games, right? And their biggest tournament on the entire site for 8 early baseball games is, I believe, 4K to first, and that's in the 3:40 Eastern time. So come on, do better, FanDuel.
Well, you said they didn't try today. They don't try any day.
But this was an especially pathetic effort on their part.
It's fair. It's fair. We could at least go there. I mean,
there's an 8-man MLB monster you can play.
Nice. Maybe we get in. Both of us get in. We'll have 25% of the pool right there.
Yeah.
So. This slate is definitely not the best, obviously. We expected it to be more, but hey, we're here talking about it. And I think leaving salary on the table, do it today. It's perfectly fine. It's not a bad idea to do. If you have to leave salary.
Don't even look at how much salary you're leaving. Just make the team, make the team that you want. If you got the stack you want, the hitters, pitchers you want, just leave it. Don't, you see 2,300 over there on remaining salary. You're going to feel, I feel this all the time. I don't know about you, Mangone, but you feel the need to try to rearrange things and find an upgrade. On this slate, on a 4-game slate, don't do that. If you've got a team you like, hit that enter button and roll with it.
Yeah, if you're using an optimizer and you typically move your salary up to 4,900 is the minimum, or 49,000 is the minimum. Don't do that, right? Just let it happen. Let it do its thing. I think that's the move on this slate. So ranking wise, again, I think it's you kind of gave your ranks already. I would say Taillon's probably my number 1, and then I'd say probably Pepio 2, and then 3. I mean, it's bad. Maybe it's Hauser just because Cincinnati's terrible.
No, don't play Hauser. No.
Yeah, you're probably right. Why would I be playing Hauser? It's not a great idea. I'm just gonna play. Here's the thing. I'm not giving you a third. Why do I got to give 3? I'm giving 2. We're giving Taillon. We're giving Pepio. That's it.
Yeah, that's my top 2 as well. So we're on board.
Cool. Let's go on over to the hitters. Let's talk about the catchers. And catcher's not normally a great position, obviously, but the one thing we do have, at least, we got Will Smith against the lefty in the 3-hole. I assume he's popular at 4,500. What's your thoughts here on Will Smith? Is he someone you're just going to prioritize? I mean, again, we've already talked about it. If we're playing Pepio and, hey, it's a slate that you might not have to spend at every position, you might just have some salary, I think plugging Will Smith is just a no-brainer here on this slate.
Yeah, I definitely hear what you're saying. No Grandal in the lineup for the White Sox, so that's one seemingly good option eliminated. Although he has been brutal this year, hasn't really done much of anything. Yeah, Will Smith, the top guy here, but for a crappy 4-game slate, this is the catcher position. Actually, I think has 3 pretty good options. Yes, Will Smith leads the way, but man, I love left-handed bats against the Reds pitcher Vladimir Gutierrez. So Omar Narvaez in the 7 hole, he's 3,600. I think he's a great option. And then, I'm fading Hauser personally, so I want to pick off at least a bat or two against him because I do think he's going to be pretty popular. So Tyler Stevenson, another good hitter. Hauser doesn't scare me at all. I think Milwaukee kind of used most of their good bullpen arms yesterday as well. So yeah, I do rank them Smith, Narvaez, Stevenson, but all 3 guys very much in play. Probably going to keep it to those 3 guys myself.
Yeah, I probably should have mentioned what's it called? Narvaez. Narvaez is definitely a good option. So he's one that I would, if I don't play Smith, that's who I would go to probably, just because maybe you get some lower ownership on him compared to Smith, just because I think a lot of people will kind of just jam him in. It just makes a lot of sense. So let's move on over to the first base position. Guys, if you could, please like and subscribe to this video. It helps us out a ton. I'll go over the schedule that we got for the day just because, hey, it's changed up a little bit because, hey, Big T likes to change up the schedule sometimes. He likes to, keep you guys on your toes. So 3 p.m. is the Pin Seeker show. He'll be live with Tambo. And of course, I'm on my Mac, so you guys just heard my phone ringing, but hopefully that doesn't keep going because my friends are FaceTiming me and, they're relentless, DC, but let's hope they don't do that. So 3 p.m. Pin Seeker show. We got that going on. 4:45 MLB Swing for the Fences show. 6 o'clock. DC's tuning in to get all the NBA takes. That way you can decide the Bucks are not the bet. The Celtics are the bet to win the series. 6 p.m. That's going to be the premium show. And then tomorrow we'll be back. We'll be talking some MLB at 11 a.m. It'll be me and DC, and we're going to do both the 4-game slate. So there's 2 4-game slates tomorrow. Hopefully DraftKings does not find a way to chop this thing up into a bunch of 2-game slates. Hopefully I don't screw that up somehow. And we're going to talk the main. We're going to do that first. And then after that, we'll switch over to the early slate. That way, the people who tune in right away, they don't have to search around and be like, hey, where is the, start to the main slate if they want to actually catch that. So we'll just do it right at the top and then we'll switch over to the early slate. So if you do show up early and you see main slate conversation, go grab a coffee, go grab something to eat and come back. We will definitely talk about it. Don't you worry. DC, let's dive back in. Let's talk about this first base position. So, what are we doing at the top? Obviously, we got Anthony Rizzo, who he's in the 3 hole for the Yankees, and the Yankee stack. I don't know how popular it's going to be, but it could be obviously compared to some of these other offenses, or it could not be just because you got the Dodgers on the slate, and sometimes people just gravitate to the same offense. And if they're not going to plug in Anthony Rizzo, I'm in on that. Vladimir Guerrero, another big name. Jose Abreu against Savale, another good one. And for cheap, Rowdy Tellez is there, and also Freddie Freeman against a lefty. People don't like playing against lefties, but there aren't a lot of offenses here. Ultimately, we got a lot of first basemen to look at, DC. So who are some of your favorites?
Yeah, this position looks really good. I'll probably spread it around a little bit here. My number 1 is Rowdy Tellez. Been a hero for us at RPS, specifically Hoop's been on him, and he's been crushing it, hitting the ball hard. And like I said, in Milwaukee, all the Milwaukee lefties that are in the lineup today, I absolutely love. Gutierrez is one of the worst pitchers in baseball against left-handed bats. We obviously got the home run park in Cincinnati. It's 80 degrees there today. I'll almost be surprised if Rowdy Tellez doesn't take Gutierrez deep. So he is number 1 for me. Same game. And again, I want to get a bat or 2 against Hauser, who I'm going to fade. Apparently daytime Colin Moran is a thing. Hit 2 home runs the other day, followed it up with another home run the next day. So he's been on fire, hitting 6th for Cincinnati. You can play him at third base, which probably is the preferable move given how stacked first base is today. But I do like him quite a bit at 2,700 as well. And then, yeah, of course, up top, 3 good options, right? Rizzo, Guerrero, even Jose Abreu against Savale, I think is a good way to go. So depending on if you're on Taillon or Barrios, Rizzo and Guerrero on the other side is a good option. I don't know your approach, Mangone, on a 4-game slate, but I do focus less on stacking, and I do want to get a bat against specifically chalk pitchers that I don't have, right? So if I don't have a Barrios in my lineup, I want to get at least 1 Yankee in there because someone's going to have to do damage against him. Otherwise, he's going to end up on the optimal, right? If no Yankees do any damage, of course, it could be a bunch of singles and walks or something like that. But that's not really the way the Yankees play. It's kind of home run or bust for them. So if you don't have Barrios, someone's probably taking him deep if he doesn't end up on the optimal on a 4-game slate. So, Rizzo looks like one of the best options for me on the Yankees. Problem is this position is loaded, like I said, and he's very expensive at 5,800. So might go somewhere else. But Rizzo, yeah, certainly a guy you at least need to consider if you're not on Barrios.
Yep, definitely with you on that. Well, you know what you can do, DC? You can go to second base and you can take one of the Yankees there. I mean, DJ LeMahieu, yeah, he's not the sexiest player, but he is in the 4-hole today, so he's going to have a lot of opportunity there. And it's not a great position. I mean, do you want to plug in Gavin Lux? Like, I know Owen Miller cracked one out the other day, so if he's in the lineup, I get it. I know Brandon Drury's been hitting a little better, but it's still Brandon Drury. I think it's DJ LeMahieu or Colton Wong for me. I think those are the two main guys that I would be looking at. How about you?
Yeah, Wong number one for me by a decent margin. Again, those Milwaukee lefties, you're going to hear me say it at every position where they have one. They're going to be probably my number one guy. So I do love Colton Wong there. Good part to hit in, obviously helps his power. You know, he's a guy that does make solid contact a lot, but just has a hard time getting it over the fence because he doesn't have a ton of raw power. But in Cincinnati, he's certainly capable of it. I like him. Yeah, Drury has looked good. Another option against Hauser if you're not going in that direction. And yeah, certainly DJ LeMahieu up top, hitting cleanup for the Yankees today. If you're not on Barrios, you can go there. No problem with Lux, Torres, Owen Miller even. Yeah, I mean, I think you can kind of spread it around here, but Colton Wong is the number one for me.
Yep, I think that's a good call there. By the way, DC, I forgot to mention this. First base. I know it's a loaded position. Maybe we just plug it into the third base position instead, but Colin Moran is playing in the day. I'm just calling
I mentioned it. You weren't listening to me, man. What are you doing? FaceTiming with your friends or something? Come on.
Yeah, I mean, my friends were spamming me. I'm tired, so maybe I was sleeping a little bit there, DC. But yeah, daytime Colin Moran. We'll have to talk about him when we slide on over to the third base position. So let's do that now. But hey, it's a good position because we got Jose Ramirez at the top against Velasquez. Vincent Velasquez is terrible. I don't think people are stacking up the Indians, but I mean, the Guardians. How many times have you made that mistake so far yet this year, DC?
Probably more than I even realized, because I'm sure I've made it and no one's corrected me, and it just, you know, the show just continues on. But probably like half the time, I would guess.
Yeah, and you know which one we're gonna make a mistake on now. We're not gonna call it the football team anymore. We got to call it the Commanders. We're just gonna keep messing them up. I mean, that team just keeps.
I think I'm still calling them the Redskins. So
you're sticking strong with the other name.
I'm two names in the past right now.
Oh, it's too good. But yeah, so Jose Ramirez for the Guardians at the top. Like him against Vincent Velasquez. Then we have the two Dodgers, Max Muncy, Justin Turner. Both really good options that you can go to here against Peters. Dodgers are a great offense. They definitely can get the job done today. Definitely a team that you want to look at. And then, of course, Colin Moran in the daytime. So a lot of guys to like. I mean, for this being a 4-game slate, there's definitely some hitters we can roster. Who are some of the third basemen that you're looking at?
Yeah, Justin Turner had, I think, maybe his first big game of the year yesterday. 4 for 5, 4 RBIs, 30 DraftKings points. So good to see him get going. He historically has crushed lefties, gets Dylan Peters today. I do prefer him slightly over Max Muncy, but I think it's close between those two guys. Yeah, I mean, this is another position where you got to like a lot of these guys. Like, I prefer lefties against Gutierrez for sure, but Luis Urias hitting 5th for Milwaukee today. I'll take anybody, frankly, against Gutierrez there. Milwaukee is my favorite stack today. We talked about Drury already. Jose Ramirez up top. If you got the money, by all means, spend on that. I mean, Juan Moncada, he missed pretty much all of the beginning of the year. He's been back for 2 days. It's been okay through 2 games. I don't think we have a White Sox lineup yet, so we'll see where. Oh yeah, we do.
I think we have it.
But yeah, he's not in there. No Juan Moncada. So scratch him, which is good because there are a lot of options here. Yeah, you've got daytime Colin Moran. Looks great. Probably a better play at third base than first base, in my opinion. Moustakas, again, I do want to get a Cincinnati bat against Hauser. He looks like, I wouldn't say a good option, but a decent option. He's been hitting a little bit better recently. Most of his good days this season have come recently. And then all the way at the bottom for Milwaukee, Jace Peterson, another Milwaukee lefty. He's been hitting it really, really well recently. And stealing bases as well. So yeah, he's a good option if you need the savings at 2,500. Yeah, these positions for a 4-game slate seem like they all have a lot of options. So hopefully our pitchers come through and we can kind of spread it around. That'll be my strategy today.
Yeah, well, if you are playing, if you are playing the Brewers, I know Jace Peterson is part of the Big Platoon fan club, right? I mean, there's the crew, right? He's part of one of the crew members. He's Jace Peterson. So hey, if you like Big T's, plays that he gives you, the off the boards guys, if you're a Wilmer Flores against lefties kind of guy, Jace Peterson is probably your kind of player, right? DC?
Who's the all Big Platoon team? Peterson, Wilmer Flores,
Darren Ruff has to have a spot, but he gets DH from the team like real quick. He gets a couple bats and then he's done. But
James McCann,
James McCann would probably be on it. I'm trying to think of who else.
We need Big T. He
has some real off the board ones.
Yeah. I wonder if he ever makes a full lineup, all one-offs, big platoon one-off lineup. Probably not. He's a guy who enjoys his stacks for sure.
No, what has to happen is Big T, with all that money he's won, he needs to buy the Cincinnati Reds and then just trade for all of his platoon players.
Yeah,
that's what he needs to do.
That's a good idea. Amazing. I like it.
Okay. Cool. Let's dive into the shortstop position. And you talked about the White Sox and Moncada not being in the lineup. Well, you know who is? Tim Anderson at the top, but also Trey Turner. And hey, Trey Turner, I might not even care about his ownership today. I mean, yes, there are some other options you can make a case for. Bo Bichette's a good option. Willie Adames, but Trey Turner definitely seems like he is a good option to go to here. DC, who are some of the other shortstops that you're looking at?
Yeah, not that this position is terrible, but it might be the weakest that we've talked about so far. And outfield obviously going to be strong as well. I'm with you. I do have Trey Turner a decent bit above all these guys. Definitely prefer him over a Bo Bichette. I'd like Tim Anderson too. I think he would be second for me, but definitely Trey Turner number one, probably Anderson two, and then Willie Adames three. Yeah, I don't see going down to like a Kyle Farmer or Kiner Falefa or even a Marwin Gonzalez. I guess if you need the savings at 2,100, you could go there, but not my preference. So yeah, give me Trey Turner, Anderson, and Adames in that order.
All right. Yeah. I mean, good. I mean, hey, you could spend at all these positions today. It does seem like it's better than I thought going in, but hey, we'll see what the outfield kind of gets us here. Guys, if you could please like and subscribe to this video, helps us out a ton. We appreciate it. Also, we got the Tim Anderson good BVP is in the chat, so you never know what that's going to be. So let's do a quick live look in on what that is. So working up Savale real quick and see what we got, because the BVP, sometimes the chat they get a little too excited, and sometimes it's really good. So if I pull up the BVP here, we got Anderson is at that's pretty good, DC. 7 for 17. With 3 home runs, 2 doubles. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that's definitely some BVP you can get behind. And then some BVP that's not so good is Jose Abreu, 2 for 15 in this spot. Grandal, maybe that's why he's not in the lineup. 1 for 11. Moncada, though, he actually has the BVP at 6 for 15. But, hey, the BVP truthers, some of them will say,
come on, why Moncada not in the lineup with good BVP? I would have expected Tony La Russa to make his lineup mostly based on BVP. So a little surprising Moncada's not in there.
That is true. Delussa's definitely got to be a BVP guy.
He's got to be.
Sure. No doubt. All right, let's talk about this outfield position. And if we think Jose Barrios is going to get blown up, Aaron Judge could do it, right? He could definitely be part of the damage. If we do think that Savali is going to be blown up, Luis Robert, as I like to call him. I don't call him Robert, DC. I call him Robert. So the chat hates that. Some people like it. Some people don't. Holden, if he's watching, which we know he's not.
Wait, do you think you think he's French or something?
I'm just telling you, I've heard him say it. I've heard it out of his mouth. He says Robert.
Yeah, okay.
And just telling you the truth. It's just, and here's the thing, DC. Luis Robert
sounds way cooler than Luis Robert.
Yes, yeah, like Luis Robert walks in the club, right? Is Luis Robert getting some of the ladies? No, Luis Robert is. That guy. That guy's cool. So
I can get behind it.
Yeah. Then you got Christian Yelich against Vladimir Gutierrez, which Christian Yelich definitely in a really good spot. If you're playing the Brewers, which you talked about them being one of your favorite offenses, and the Cincinnati bullpen's not good. Like Cincinnati in general is just awful. You got to put Christian Yelich on your team. What are your thoughts here on the outfield position, DC?
Yeah, Yelich going to be in the course. He will be on most, if not all, of my teams. He is my favorite outfielder, especially when you consider the price tag, 4,300, just way too cheap. I actually would probably rank him even over Aaron Judge and George Springer and those guys. So yeah, Yelich number one. If you can spend, I mean, Judge has just been on fire all season. He looks like a good option. Luis Robert, my bad, Mangone. Luis Robert looks good there at 5,100. Maybe a little bit off the board. No Cleveland lineup yet, but I would be pretty shocked if Josh Naylor wasn't in there. 3 home runs, I think, over his last 2 games, hitting the ball real hard. He's a good way to go. I do prefer him in the outfield, I think, over first base. There's just so many first basemen I want to play I would play Naylor in the outfield. I do like him quite a bit. Maybe my favorite bat, all things considered, for Cleveland against Velasquez. Chris Taylor hitting 7th, I think, is solid at 3,900. I don't mind Naquin down there. And then a couple of Yankees if you're not on Barrios. Like I said, I do like to get a bat against a popular pitcher like Barrios will be. Aaron Hicks, Joey Gallo, both in that low 3K range, look like solid options as well.
Yep, for sure. And DC, the chat, they're on fire for us. So they got all the BVP that we need, right? They told us Colin Moran. I don't know if you know his BVP against Hauser. It's 9 for 15 with 2 home runs. And then another big platoon.
You got the BVP and the daytime special with Colin Moran. Yeah, he's going in my lineup, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. And also another Big T special, Tyler Naquin, 5 for 7 on the BVP. Again, not a lot, but hey, still one of Big T specials. And then another guy that's actually in the Big T or the Big Platoon Hall of Fame. That's Matt Duffy from the chat. I don't know if you know that. Matt Duffy is one of Big T's guys.
We got a lot of Big Platoon options today. So this slate looking tastier than I thought originally.
For sure. Outfield, though, overall, pretty good position. A lot of guys that you can go to. It's a pretty good hitting slate. Obviously, the pitching's not great, but hey, I'm going to probably eat the chalk with the pitchers, not get too crazy.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of the options because, hey, yes, maybe my pitcher could get blown up, but I'll just say this. If I don't play that guy, I got to play some of these other ones.
Exactly.
I just don't have that much interest. So I think give your quick pitching thoughts one more time if anyone kind of came in late, and then we'll talk about our favorite stacks, and then we'll do our plays of the day.
Yeah. Ryan Pepio, Dodgers rookie. I don't know that much about him. His numbers look pretty good. And the important thing is just the matchup is so good against the Pirates. So I'll take the risk there at 6,200. He's cheap. Like him way better than the pitchers around him. Wouldn't be shocked at all to see him turn in the SB1 performance. Slate, he's number 1 for me. Jameson Taillon 2, but it's close for me between Taillon and Barrios. I'll probably have a little bit of both depending on, which offenses I go for on each individual team. But yeah, those are the 3 guys for me. Not going to touch any other pitchers. Again, that's Pepio 1, Taillon 2, Barrios 3.
All right. And we had a question in the chat, DC, which you never know when there's new people watching or newer people, but they said, what is BVP? And then they said best value player. So, and then the best was Kevin's comment goes, if you don't know, don't worry about it. Just keep it that way. But BVP is batter versus pitcher. So when you see the same DC, maybe you can do a better explanation for it, but what's your thoughts on the,
No, that's you explained it well. Batter versus pitcher BVP. We're kind of joking because I think in general, maybe not so much anymore, but you and I are veterans of the DFS game, and it used to be a big driving factor in who people would play. I think less so these days. And people would be like, oh, this guy's like 2 for 5. He's batting 400 against the pitcher. We don't care so much about that. A 9 for 15 with a couple home runs like Colin Moran has, and we like him anyway. Yeah, we're on board. So there's BVP for you.
Yeah, I do it for the engagement. I know if the chat's not moving, I just mention the words BVP and people start talking. So it is always funny that people.
Fan of the people over there.
Yeah, people love to discuss it. But that was the pitching breakdown. Let's go over to the stacks. So hey, stacks today again. DC, I think he likes the Brewers the most. I think I'm gonna slam in some of these Dodgers and just try to find the ways to make it different. Maybe it's through Freddie Freeman, mess around. Maybe I'll just make my one-offs a little bit different. Maybe I'll throw in Colin Moran when other people are not. But DC, I think mine's the Dodgers today. That's gonna be my favorite offense. How about you?
Yeah, Brewers by far number 1, Dodgers 2, and I guess I'll throw in White Sox 3, but on a 4-game slate, if you list too many teams, that's the entire slate. So yeah, going to be a lot of Brewers and Dodgers, and I'll have some Reds too. I'll have a fair amount of Reds. They're very cheap, and I'm just not at all a believer in Adrian Hauser.
All right, DC, this is what I'm going to do. We're going to go on over to the plays of the day. If you guys can, Please like and subscribe to this video. Helps us out a ton. We'd appreciate it. You get notified when we go live. We have the MLB Swing for the Fences show. That'll be free on the YouTube channel today. So you'll get notified when that goes live. Then 3 o'clock, we'll have the Pin Seeker show. That's on the premium side. Then 6 o'clock, we'll have the NBA Hardwood show, or not Hardwood show, the Final Countdown show, where they're doing the Up the Lock and they're breaking it all down for you guys. I'm going to do my play of the day first, DC, and I'm going to go to the guy with all the narratives today, the daytime, the BVP, and I'm going to go Colin Moran. Here's another reason why I want to go Colin Moran. When I build out a Dodger stack, right, most people are going to say they're going to plug in Max Muncy or they're going to plug in Justin Turner. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say, no, I want neither. I'm going to put Colin Moran. That's how I'm going to make it different. I'll put him in at my third base position and then kind of get unique with that bottom of the order and add them in. I'll be sure to have Trey Turner, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, but I'll mix in two of those guys towards the bottom of the order to kind of help my lineups be a little bit different. So that's how I'm going to make it a little unique. Colin Moran is going to be my play of the day. DC, who's your play of the day?
You robbed me. You weren't a very good host. You weren't a good friend, Mangone. Picking yourself first to take the best play of the day in Colin Moran.
I promise tomorrow you can get the first play. I'll give you the first play tomorrow. That way we can, make sure it's even.
Thank you. Otherwise, I'm never coming back on your Mangone and Friends show. I will go with a different guy. I'll go to the same game, however. Rowdy Tellez, my favorite first baseman, and maybe my favorite overall play on the slate, outside of course, the great Colin Moran. So Rowdy Tellez hitting cleanup for the Brewers. Going to take Vladimir Gutierrez deep in this one.
All righty, guys, that'll wrap it up for us. Thanks a lot for joining us here on the Run Pure Sports Morning Show. For me, Mangone and DC, we'll see you guys later.